Alrighty guys, we are gonna do a quick practice. And so this video, you can watch if you need extra support for adding, subtracting, and comparing fractions. So let's start by looking at just a regular fraction. So we have 2 and we have 3, 2/3. Okay, so with fractions, the top is always called the numerator. Oops, so numerator. And the bottom is always called the denominator. Okay, so we have the numerator and the denominator. 2/3 is basically 2 out of 3. So if I were to draw a tape diagram, my total, my whole, the denominator, which is the whole, is 3. So you see 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. 2 is the part, okay? So that's how many is colored in. 1, 2. So you could see here we have 2 colored in out of 3. So that's essentially what a fraction is. Now, we're going to say we took that 2/3 and we need to find an equivalent fraction of 2/3, okay? So if we have 2/3, and this is just a model to represent equivalent fraction, okay? So here's 2/3, 1, 2, and there's, remember this whole piece is my whole. This is one whole, okay? And we're looking for an equivalent fraction. So let's say we cut it in half. Now we can recount our pieces. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 4 colored in out of a total of 6. So we had 2/3. So 2/3 equals 4/6. Okay. If I'm thinking in my mind, how does 2/3 become 4/6? Another way we can do it, other than drawing a model, is by numbers and thinking about a numerical representation. So how does 3 become 6? Okay, I might ask myself, I think 3 becomes 6 when you multiply it by 2. Okay, and then what we know about fractions, guys, is that what we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. It's required. It's just, if we don't do that, we'll end up with pieces that are not accurate. So what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And you might know that 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 2 is 6, okay? So this is another strategy you can use to find equivalent fractions. For your work today, guys, you're going to work on comparing fractions, and then you're going to add and subtract. So let's start with the comparing first. Let's compare 4/5 and 2/3, okay? When you look at these two numbers, you're going to say, well, Miss J, they're different. And I'm going to say, you're right. 4/5 and 2/3 are two different numbers. They have different denominators. They cannot become one, right? So one way we can do it is draw a number line. And I would challenge you guys to do this because it is a 5th grade standard to do number lines and to be able to interpret them. So my first one is 4/5. So this is 5/5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4/5 right here. Okay, 2/3. 1, 2, 3. So here's 2/3. So just by looking at my number line, I might know that 4/5 is greater. Let's try it a different way to see if we're accurate. So remember I told you to multiply and you can find an equivalent fraction. I know 5 and 3 both have the number 15 in common. 5 times 3 is 15, 3 times 5 is 15. But I know I'm not done. I have to ask myself, what do I do if I multiply my denominator times a number? You might say, what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I have 5 times 3 here. I'm going to do 4 times 3 on the top. Okay? 3 times 5 here. I'm going to do 2 times 5 on the top. So 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 3 is 15. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. Now that we have the same denominators, we can actually compare the numbers and say, what number is greater? I already know that 12 is greater than 10, so 4/5 is going to be greater than 2/3. And that's represented here in our number line, right? So we see that in our number line here as well. The same thinking, we're going to use the same thinking when we add and subtract fractions, right? So let's do an addition problem. Let's say we had 2 3/4 plus 1 4/5. Okay, so we're going to kind of go with that same fraction piece. Now you are going to line them up. I always tell you guys, line it up, Miss J, line it up by place value. We have 2 wholes, we have a fraction of 3/4. We have 1 whole, we have a fraction of 4/5. Okay, what are we doing to them? We're adding them. Property of operation is addition. Then we're going to say, oh wait, I can't add. They're 2 different denominators, right? So then we're going to do, we know that 4 times 5 is 20. We know that 5 times 4 is 20. So this will give us a new fraction that has an equal denominator. Remember that rule of thumb, guys. What I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. So 4, I multiplied 4 here, I got to multiply 4 here. Multiply 5, I multiply 5. So we have 15/20 and 16/20. Okay, so now we have the same denominator. So now we can add them straight, add them down. So we have 15 plus 16. Okay, I know 15 plus 15 is 30, plus 1 more is going to give me 31. So 31/20. Okay, 31/20. The only thing I challenge you here is you guys have to note 31 is too big. Okay, you cannot leave 31 on top of 20. 31 is too big. So I have to make it a proper fraction, guys. So I'm going to take 20 out, which is a whole, and I'm going to add it here. And I have 11 left. 11/20. So here's my whole. So now I have 2, 3, and 4. My answer is 4 wholes and 11/20. Okay. Very good. Let's practice one with subtraction. Let's say we had 5 wholes and 2/5 minus 2 wholes and 3/4. Okay, remember, line it up, Miss J. 5 wholes, 2/5 is our fraction. 2 wholes, 3/4 is our fraction. Okay, so we're going to use the same understanding of what we know about subtracting and adding. Just like when we added, we regrouped. When we subtract, we might have to borrow. We're thinking about borrowing and keeping that in our mind. So we have 2/5 minus 3/4. We cannot do that. We cannot do that because they have different denominators. So we have to find a common denominator or an equivalent fraction where they're both the same denominator. So I'm going to do 4 times 5 and then 5 times 4. That's the rule. What's the rule, guys? What you do to the bottom, you also do to the top. So 5 times 4 here, 2 times 4 on top. 4 times 5 here, 3 times 5 on top. So we have 8/20 minus 15/20. Okay, now this is where a lot of 5th graders get confused. You think, I'm going to just do 15 minus 8. Remember what we talked about yesterday with our subtracting decimals. We cannot do that. It is not possible. We cannot do 8, have 8, and then take away 15. It's not going to work. So we have to borrow. Remember, we have to borrow in order to make it work. Okay, so we are going to take, so here's the trick. What's my denominator? Okay, how many are in one whole? How many 20ths are in one whole? If I take away a whole, I send it next door. How many am I sending next door? I have to tell myself, well, 20/20 makes a whole. So 20/20 20ths. Now I have 28 20ths, okay? So I could do 28 minus 15. Yes, now I can. So 8 minus 5 is 3. So I have 13 20ths. And now I'm going to subtract my wholes, which is 4 minus 2, which is 2, and 13 20ths. If you're watching this, guys, and you're working and you come to a point where you're like, I really am not sure how to work through this, please rewatch the video to support you wherever you're at. Remember, in order to add or subtract, we have to have a common denominator, okay? And remember, in order to find a common denominator, we have to find an equivalent fraction, okay? So 3/4 equals 15 20ths, okay? So it has to be an equivalent fraction, a common denominator, equivalent fraction, then you just add or subtract. Sometimes we have to borrow, sometimes we have to regroup, and that's okay, right? Just like we did with the 8 20ths minus 15 20ths. We just take from the whole and send it over, okay? Remember, if you're working and get to a point where you're confused, be sure to rewatch. Good luck.